Hi.
Hi.
Hi guys. This is Tan.
Hi, I'm Tan. Hi, it's me, it's Tan.
I mentioned about Tan a couple times on my YouTube channel. And Tan is a drag performer.
Yeah.
And also a graphic designer in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Los Angeles drag king.
Yeah, thank you. My drag king name is Prometheus Bob.
Link in my description down below.
Yeah.
You can check out Tan's channel. Yeah, today I want to do something a little bit different, so I asked Tan if he want to be in my YouTube video, and he's very generous.
I just want to hang out with Nani. And Nani texted me like, Tan, I just want to hang out with you. So
right. Yeah, that's how you're being productive.
Exactly.
So I worked with Tan before. We have same day job, and then Tan bravely quit his day job without a backup plan.
Yeah.
Basically, he wanted work on his own stuff and work as graphic designer and also help producing drag shows. So I thought that was really brave, and there's a lot of vulnerability there. Yeah. he's performing.
Well, this is kind of how my first vlog went, which was like, was it my second vlog? So I started vlogging basically on my channel, just trying to do weekly vlogs to document the process of whatever's going on with me. And the first vlog I did was like, wow, I quit my job, cool. And the second vlog I did was like me trying to do what I thought was vlogging, but it was a lot of me going ha-cha-cha, ha-cha-cha. And I was watching it and I was like, well, this is just me performing. Like, this is not the purpose of the vlog. That's like wasn't how I wanted to come across, at least, or it didn't feel like right to me. So I like scrapped all that and did like a different vlog. And those are that's how that happened. That was the second one I put up.
I see.
Yeah. So, because Nani, I guess, came to my job and was like, I'm a YouTuber and filmmaker. And I was like, wow, really cool. And like, I watched her channel and I was like, wow, she's really good. And then you watched like the one video that was on my channel and you're like, Tan, your vulnerability. And I was like, thank you, Nani.
Yeah.
So I felt encouraged.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
I feel like I really appreciate Tan's vulnerability. I keep talking about it with him because I feel like Tan's cat is biting him.
Okay, I'm free.
They're playing right now.
Yeah, we play rough.
Yeah, so I feel like the internet right now, nowadays, is like people always trying to pretend to be somebody or trying to kind of grab an identity for themselves. While Tan, I feel like, I don't know, like I rewatched your first YouTube video again a while ago after I know you more than half a year, 7, 8 months.
Yeah.
I watched the channel again and I remember I saw that, like before I watch it, I already have an impression of that. I know why you do drag, all that stuff that make yourself, like you were talking about, like putting makeup on, make yourself look like a monster, but like you want people to see beyond that. And then when I hear you talk about that on your vlog, and I was like, that's really how I feel. It's like I never have close contact, I don't know if that's how you say it, with drag stuff. Like I've seen performance online, but I've never kind of meeting anybody in real life. And so it's like that kind of thing when you don't know that person, you look at it, you're like, whoa, this is very colorful. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but after I know you and I saw your performance, it's like I don't see those things, like it's really weird feeling. of that it almost like a person's who they are, how old they are, what they looks like, none of those things matters. That's why I feel it's kind of very eye-opening.
Wow, thank you for sharing. Thank you for watching that again. For me, like, drag is like something I just started to do because it seemed fun. Which is like, I don't know, crazy. Like, I never get into things kind of just for the hell of it. I feel like I'm always really intentional about stuff, but somehow I fell into like doing drag, and I kind of like discovered this like narrative of myself along the way where like I, you know, had a lot of things to express, and like the beauty of drag is that like when you're in the moment, like kind of all that everyone cares about is like how good is your makeup and like how good do you twirl and like all this stuff, and it's like really liberating to like do a number that's like, you know, expressing all of my sadness, but it's to a disco song, and like my makeup is great, so like no one kind of notices the message that they're being told. And so it's kind of like, it kind of feels like shouting into the wind, you know, like if you have like something you want to get off your chest, so you just like go on top of a mountain and like shout at the wind, and like feels great because you said it but no one heard it.
It almost doesn't matter if people get it.
Yeah, exactly, because it's like I shouted it in a room full of people, so it doesn't matter if only one person like went home and thought about it like that way, because I feel liberated doing it, which is like, it's, you know, at the end of the day for my benefit. And like that's obviously not all there is to drag, is just like that one, you know, like part of the process. There's so much to it. So it's not like every drag number is like for that purpose, but that's like something that I found myself doing that, like, I don't know, when I realized that I could like do that, that's kind of like what I love about art, I guess, and like storytelling, because like I see drag as storytelling and I see all art as storytelling, is that like I can express the things that I want to say and put it in a like aesthetic package that people like accept it in a way that if I just said it to them straight up, they wouldn't, either they wouldn't get it or like they wouldn't be interested in it. That's how I feel. I don't know if you have, I don't know what your experience is with any of this.
What you said is very interesting. I think as a writer, it's more like, even though you're trying to do what you want to do, you're trying to tell the story you want to tell, but there always some like a subconscious, I don't know if everybody like that, but subconsciously I always have like a struggle of, oh, if I tell this way, audience gonna feel like that. Like you kind of take almost like have a lot of assumption of how audience gonna react. So what you said, I find it's very interesting that you almost like shouting out your emotion without even care, and then that's what storytellers need, because we got brainwashed so much about things we see and whatever is popular out there, and then we kind of lose our own voice. Without really worry about what audience is gonna think, and then to really be honestly look inwardly to see what's the real story you want to tell, what's the message you want to give out. It's hard. You need to be very vulnerable, because people maybe will say, I don't get it, what is this? It's like,
yeah,
that's scary.
That's why I like the idea of like kind of like sugar candy coated like art, where it's just like, you know, or like kind of like, I don't know, I'm like a cartoon person. I know that you're not as much. But like, for example, something like Steven Universe. Do you know anything about this show?
No.
Darn it.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just trying to think of a metaphor.
I know.
Steven Universe is a show that's like very cute and colorful, very candy coated. But then like the themes of the show, it's like a cartoon, like a kid's cartoon on like a kid's channel. But I as the story progresses, like they start like weaving in like really adult like narratives, and it's like kind of like this art like Trojan horse of like, you know, you kind of like give people what they want first, and then to like hook them, and then you can like tell them what you really want to say, and that by that time they don't have a choice. It sounds like I'm messed up.
Hey, that's actually how I feel about SpongeBob.
Oh yeah,
I
okay.
really like SpongeBob, you know, like the kids stuff, but I feel almost every episode of SpongeBob is like exaggerating about different type of people and different type of interaction and then the attitude. I thought it was really spiritual awakening.
No, but I agree, because like when you think about it, like I feel like, you know, it's kind of like a joke. Like SpongeBob memes are still so relevant to like everyone like today, but it's because it like that show resonated really deeply with people, and it's just because they like use humor to shed a lot of like light onto like really universal experiences.
Yeah, Jupiter is really enjoying himself right now.
Yeah. Oh. His face though is like.
I want to kind of, because I feel you're very open to on being vulnerable, which I think a vulnerability is a superpower, and I'm very curious if you're willing to share a little bit how you feel after you quit your job.
Boy, howdy.
Just like the whole
so many things.
universal struggle.
I mean, because like my story is kind of particular. I think had a struggle with my mental health for like my whole life, basically. With that being like my background, like I was really afraid of like not being able to take care of my mental health without like a schedule, like something reliable to like kind of keep me in check. And it's like something that I've had a long time, like since I moved to LA, basically, which was in beginning of 2016. So like been here for 5.5 years. 5.5 years of working consistently, like yeah, during that time I pretty much never had any space to like expand my mind and just like live a daily life that wasn't like hemmed in by like working for the man. And the closest thing I got to that feeling, I think, was like the beginning of quarantine, and I knew that if I quit my job it wasn't going to be that feeling again, because it was like a really specific scenario. But he's so distracting. For the first time in my life, like I felt like I trusted myself and like could trust myself to like do something like a little crazy. Like I had the strength to like push myself to like make it work. And now, I told Nani this before we started, but like I'm kind of a little injured right now, and it's a little embarrassing, but it's fine. I spent like the whole week like resting pretty much and like doing nothing, and it's like that's like my biggest fear is like literally doing nothing. Like terrifies me, because you have all that space to like think and like be with your own thoughts, and it's like been fine. Just found myself like wanting to start new projects and like new drawings, and like couldn't, but like it felt nice to kind of feel like that boredom and have like that like creative spark that like you're not expecting. Yes, I watched your video today, as you know.
I agree. I feel like I pretty much most of the time before I came to the day job met you, I had most of my time being in my brain. So I was like at the opposite. And then when I take on the day job, that's when I feel that it's so much information out there. It's just so much. It's just like every day you do the work, and then you go home, you finish your task. I'm still writing, doing my YouTube and all the creative things, and there's hundreds of emails I need to reply.
Oh my god.
And then like I just feel I don't even know who I am anymore. That's when I realized like I was not kind of sit with my thoughts as often. It's not like obsessing with your thoughts, but it's like it's just you keep taking in things,
Mm-hmm.
and those things is not processed, so it's not kind of when it's not processed, you don't know how to like release it, which is use that as like a creative resource.
Right.
So
especially working in our job, just like I feel like the amount of stress that I was living through on a daily basis and had become like a norm for me. So like I stopped paying attention to it, and then I didn't have energy for anything because I just like didn't know how to cope with like that stress all the time.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like everybody quit the job. Yeah, it's like I think you were the fifth one.
Yeah,
fifth one. But at least like there's other 3 people quit the job because they are going to work on their own creativity stuff. They're going to make their own thing. So it's so exciting. So I don't want to say it wrong. It's so excited. I got it.
Exciting.
Yeah. Wait, it's so exciting. Oh, I got it wrong this time again. Okay.
Good job, Nani. It doesn't matter how you say it. It's fine.
It's okay. Yeah, I feel it's very exciting to see people actually pursuing what really matters to them. It's really hard. It's a hard choice, but I always tell myself that we only live once in our life, and then time passed by so fast.
Just turned 29.
I'm not meant to like stress anybody out, but I feel like I feel it's just like every day, if you have a moment to like take in everything, think, and be present with yourself, then that day is worth living. It doesn't matter what happens.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I think it's so hard sometimes when you're like walking this like self-made creative kind of path, because it's like you have to like promote yourself, you have to make things, and then you also have to make money, and like doing all of those things, it's so easy for me to like forget to be present.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest struggle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're your own boss, so you have all the boss, you have all the responsibility, and it's really hard to not stuck in those anxiety.
I feel like for me, I mean, not necessarily videos because I've only put out a couple, but like in general, like posting content online, I have like a threshold of like, if this gets like 5 likes, I'm fine. Really low threshold. Like honestly, like if 5 to 10 people enjoy my work and want to say like good job, like that's like a lot of people to me.
Yeah, you think about, you put 5 to 10 people in a room, it's a party.
Yeah, I feel like it's like you're putting out like things that you care about. So like the fact that anyone, like genuinely the fact that like anyone like
find it helpful,
has like watched my videos, like the fact that you have watched my videos and like comment on them is like already enough. Like I don't, like it, because the things that I want to say are things that like are important to me, rather than like if you are just trying to make content to chase the algorithm, like that's going to be frustrating because it's never going to be enough for you probably, or like you're never going to feel the same like satisfaction. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like once the focus my focus shifted to I'm going through this, I have this kind of thoughts, and I think if somebody out there like me it will help that person, like, so it's worth to put out.
Yeah.
And then like I try to think like that, And then when I have that kind of thoughts, I'm going to help the Nani out there.
Aww. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just that one. And then that's more like kind of take away all the stress that I have. But it's vulnerable too.
Yeah.
Like when I was like decide to do YouTube channel, at that time I already shot my film, and almost like there's an anxiety. I think back then I cared too much about what other people think, so there's an anxiety of my peers with like, why would you do that? But as I get into this thing, I feel like it's the same thing as writing and making movies. I feel it's exactly the same thing, and they kind of, the process helped me practice and then really understand what is creativity and then what it means to be consistent, and then being vulnerable, showing up, put yourself out there. It's the same thing as any writer or filmmaker need to learn throughout the journey, and it's actually quite helpful. And then once I get used to produce certain amount of content, and that I like those content, that's when I start feel like somehow my mind start opening up to more ideas and different things. I can always get thinking, oh, I have that thing I want to write about.
Yeah. It's like that thing where like if you like the fear of like using up all your ideas basically, and then so people are like precious with their like creative time or like their creative output, but it's like the more you make, then the more you can make more things and like diversify and like
it's like a muscle.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that.
Yeah. It's like something you need to train, because we spend so many time like we are more like a consumer. We're consuming other people's content, and when you look at other people's things, you will think, oh, that's easy, I can do that. But like we never had that idea.
You're right.
Yeah. So it's almost like it's a process of pushing yourself to do more and think more, and then the more you do, the more you think.
Yeah, thinking. I'm excited to get to that place. I really like that like Maya Angelou clip that you put in your vlog. I was like, I want to try that. I want to just like lock myself in my studio for like 6 hours every morning for like a week, and like, because I want to. My process with like vlogging during this expedition has kind of been like, at first I was like, vlogging is the content, and then I was like, no, vlogging is like the kind of like the cool down, it's like debriefing after all the like everything else I've worked on. And I started out like having, I don't know if I told you this, but my like attitude going into all of this was like, I'm just gonna keep going and like working on things like as much as I can, because I'm like afraid of being left alone with my thoughts. And like, I didn't want to like give myself time to just like create basically. And now I feel the complete opposite way. In just like the span of a few weeks, I don't want to like work on anything. I don't want to like work on drag. I don't want to work on like anything at all. I just want to go hole up in my studio for like hours every day and just like see what happens with like a blank piece of paper. And it's like, if you just build the habit enough, like it's more about creating a habit than it is the moment of inspiration or but also I'm in a privileged place where like I can like afford to do that.
We're back.
Bum. Okay.
All
right, what you got for me, Nani?
Yeah, you were talking about something.
Don't know what, but I remember I finished my thought. So if
you sure?
I'm positive I finished my thought. If it cut off the last word or two, let me know, and then you can edit it in when you edit, because I don't remember what I was saying. Like,
all right. Sure.
Thank you, Nani, for your flexibility.
I find creating something is like same as life. You don't know what's gonna happen. I find it's very accurate like when in terms of making movies, a lot of time you plan something so well, you draw everything, you have all the things planned, you never know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
It almost like making movies, one of the things make me realize like I'm not really in control.
Mm-hmm.
And that what's interesting is like it's more of how when everything is not the way I think, can I be there on the spot to be more creative and come up with an idea to achieve something, also can match my vision, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's the most exciting part of the creative process sometimes, which is like when something doesn't work out. Sometimes it's, you know, disaster, but most of the time I feel like that's part, like, it sounds kind of cliche, but it's literally part of the process, because like someone once said, I don't remember who, that like being creative is just like problem solving. And so being given a problem to solve is like the best thing that can happen to you almost. So sometimes like when I make things, I'm just like, I'm gonna make it with like literally whatever. It's like I just have to trust the process and like give myself the tools and like let it kind of work itself out, because like I have to trust that it will. Which is like
I love how you describe it, like let it to work itself out.
Yeah, cause it's just like I take no responsibility.
Yeah, we were just like when camera off, we were talking about like not taking the responsibility of the outcome, because we are like a medium. Universe made that thing through us, so
yeah, it's true.
Don't take it too personal.
It's just like your brain. I feel like the creative process is just like your brain working in the background to like comprehend the things around you, and then like you're kind of like a seismic like meter. Like for me, it feels that way. Like more like, you know, because I draw, so like literally using my hand, it just feels like a little like, you know, that like needle that records earthquakes. Yeah, it's just like that's the universe like guiding me, and I'm just like along for the ride.
But what if that's true?
I mean, like and I think in some way,
it is. Yes, I really agree. And then also like that whole, you know how like life, you envision life going certain direction, and then something happened, and then all your plans are ruined, and then what makes us uncomfortable is like, no, I want the thing I planned.
Right.
I want that thing. And that's when you're stuck. But when you're like, okay, this happened, and I have that acceptance, and what can I do? That's when the more beautiful things are coming in. So like a creativity is exactly the same thing. That like not having the letting it go, accept like what it is, and again, I like to say be present, but literally just like in this moment, like what you said, just let it do its thing, and it feels like we're probably more easy to get into the state of like a flow, feel more, you know, excited or get inspired.
I went through a period of like just like kind of obsessing over how other people function, like creatively or otherwise. And like understanding what makes like a successful person, not even a successful creative person, but also that. And then I feel like I got a lot of answers that I wanted, but like now that it's like I have answers, I feel like, what do I do now? I spent the time like just watching like YouTubers who's like careers I envied, or who just like posted a lot about like what their process was and stuff. And it's like at some point I just realized I could never necessarily like imitate that, but also maybe or just like your story is going to be your story, like the thing that ends up working for you. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Just making my own story.
Yeah, no matter what kind of thing we do, it's always the process of that we have to start doing before we know anything, before we're actually really sure what path we take on. And then I think at one point I had an idea of that I'm just going to make things put out there, and then first, like I don't want to keep waiting to have a moment of I know what I'm going to do. I'm gonna start making things and put out there first.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then see what's coming, and then it does. It's like the whole purpose of putting yourself out there. I feel like one is to kind of get used to, getting people's comment. Maybe people don't like your stuff. Just like kind of train yourself detach from your work. And then another purpose I feel is just when you're out there, someone's gonna see you and people's gonna come to help you. And then that's when you know that everything is come to create your own thing first. And put yourself out there.
Your side note in your video that you posted today about how, like, I don't know, ideas don't belong to you, and so you should just let them go, but like let other people like have them, because I think there's like a fear of just like waiting for the perfect idea, or like being precious with your ideas, and the idea that like they don't belong to you is really nice, because it's like you don't know that thing that you wrote or like drew or like whatever you made, like you don't know how much that could mean to someone else, and it's like you really don't know. And it's good to like try to remember that.
Right. I really like I think it was Glennon Doyle, like I watched one of her interview, and she just very casually said she was downloading something, and then when she used that word, I feel like that's when it make me thinking my thoughts differently. Like what if I'm just a radio? Like my brain maybe is just a radio, because it's electricity, and then it's like universe. I don't want to sound woo-woo or anything, but there's nothing wrong to think like this. Like I have the idea of that this thing, I mean, the nature create this thing, and then the nature gave me the signal or whatever, inspiration, whatever.
5G Wi-Fi.
My job is just to be a good radio, to be open enough, to be present enough, so the information can go through me, instead of I'm trying to like thinking about me. And then once it goes through me, the product itself, it's like right now when I'm watching my own movie, I always have thought, who wrote that? Like when I see the dialogue, I was like, I didn't write that. Like I have a lot of feeling too. Like there's a feeling, like even my older YouTube video, I rewatch them, I don't remember anything. I don't feel it's mine.
I had this experience too. I was watching an old vlog of mine from like 2017, and I was like, literally, who is that? Like, who is that? Like, I would never, like, this doesn't feel like anything I would do or say, and it doesn't look like me. But it was me, like, I made that thing. You never know, like, when something's gonna click for you, because I was working on a story a while ago, like, before the pandemic, and, which I can give you context for later, but, I was, like, kind of setting this story up, and then, like, stopped thinking about it for a year, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I don't think I was even thinking of this story. It was just like lightning strike, like, oh, that's what I should do. I need to move the characters around like this, and now I can keep working on it. And it took a freaking year of me not thinking about this story, which is like frustrating. But on the other hand, it's just like you literally never know.
You don't know. Yeah, I have a lot of this kind of thing while I'm driving.
Oh my gosh!
It's like in the book Big Magic, somebody was like driving, I think it's a singer, and a melody comes to him, and he's in the traffic, he's like talking to the sky, universe, can't you see I'm driving?
Oh no, that's the worst. You're on the bus, sometimes I have no way to draw if I'm like not at home. Like I might have like a planner with me, but I'm probably like walking somewhere on the bus. And like a idea for an illustration will come in my head, and I'm like, well, I could sketch this out in my notes app right now. And sometimes I do, but every time I do, I never draw it. It's just like I have to be there with pen and paper or like my tablet to like draw it, or else, yeah. So many illustrations have died that way.
Yeah, a lot of ideas lost in the ocean. They went to somebody else.
Yeah. I like that idea.
To somebody.
Yeah.
And just give it to you.
And sometimes those things get recycled in your brain and come back later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe nobody wanted to take it and it came back to me again.
It just goes under the surf and then it comes back up.
So it's not yours.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We
have discussed so much. 2 hours. I'm going to edit it down. And thank you so much for watching. I hope it's helpful in some way. Anyway, Tan, you have anything to say?
I want to say thank you so much for having me. This has been so fun and only a little bit chaotic.
And this is the first time.
Yeah, the first and not the last.
No. I'm going to do more.
Yeah. Subscribe, comment, like, be patient, be present, stay creative.
Bye.
Bye.